you are What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. I'm your host, Darth Moocher. I've got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
Who's that?
I don't know. Some guy kind of snuck in here.
A while ago, we sent out a missing poster and an APB out for this man right here. Bootleg Joe is joining us.
Hey, yo. Sorry, I was off on a diplomatic mission.
Yeah, we sent him far, far away for a couple weeks. And yeah.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been over a year, I think, right, Joe? It's like
it's almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's good to have you on, man. We're here to talk Star Wars, of course. Ernie should be joining us and popping in at any moment, as Ernie does. Ernie wants to do what Ernie wants to do, but we should have a good talk today. This is episode 309, being recorded on May 28th, 2025. And before we get into everything, before the pit goes nuts, because we got lots to talk about, Scott, our Shadow Council desperately needs you. They're their only hope.
I'm their only hope?
Oh. Yeah, and the pit needs you too.
All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We have a new Shadow Council member to give a special shout out to this evening. So, but before we break into that fine gentleman, let's go ahead and give everybody else a shout out real quick. That's AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C, Cliff, Commander Bly, Commander Cook, Crystal E, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Muff Tech is back, Nicholas Schaefer. Wow. Sorry about that, Nick. And of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And let's all give a great, a big high five and a warm Sarlacc welcome. I don't know. Is that like a Sarlacc hug where you kind of throw the tentacle out there and
I think so.
Wrap him in it and drag his screaming ass into the pit?
Yeah.
To our homeboy Rhino Hobbies.
Thank you so much, Rhino.
Hobbies.
Yeah, we'll have to have everybody does a new member has to do the Wilhelm scream.
High five.
So special shout out to our pal Rhino Hobbies. I mean, he came out here and joined us for the May 4th adventure, and he's a good guy. So if you want to join him, if you want to be a good guy too, just scan that QR code or go to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast and donate a couple of bucks. Bless you, Joey. I think you sneezed.
Thank you.
And donate a couple of bucks, and we would appreciate it. All goes right back into the production of this show. I was going to say this fine show, but
and to get Joey back.
I don't know. So yeah, that's right. We had to pay him to get him back here.
Yeah.
So Anyway,
I'm not budging.
But not only are we shouting out that Shadow Council, but we're also talking about the pit. We've got Stu John Jedi in there. Sarlacc Digest 2 days in a row. Let's light this firecracker. We got Commander Bly. He's in there. He's getting Sarlacc fatigue.
So am I.
Thanks.
We've got Hal here.
I know, right?
I didn't get fatigue yet. I just got here.
Bootleg Joe's going to be our new show.
Sorry, Joey. This is our last show, but no.
We got Hal Runner Base. We've got the aforementioned Rhino Hobbies. What is up, Rhino? We've got Mr. Gordon Skalski in there. We've got Basil G. We've got Don the Dad Dorn. We've got, who else have we got? I'm in there making a whole lot of noise. We got Mando Mike in there. What's up, Mando? Santo 1414. Hello, everybody.
Keep on
cruising. Let's see. It looks like Ernie's popping in.
Bloop.
There he is.
Just in time for the pit shout out.
Do you have a Wilhelm scream in there?
No.
Oh, we got to get one.
I can, though. Yeah. You're right. I do need to find it.
We need that. We got Dr. Brantley in there.
Nice.
We have got Meeks is in there.
What's up, Meeks?
Yeah, there's a lot of holy crap. And he lives. And Joe, you sexy bastard. And good to see you back, Joe. And Joe. And what is Joe? Yay, Joe. I think we even have a Yo Joe in there as well. So there's lots of
Joe June is actually bootleg Joe June.
I specifically came back for Ernie.
Yeah.
What up, Joey?
We got the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast in there.
Welcome.
Is up, man? And then a special shout out to our homeboy, Commander Bly, to dump Chris for Joe.
Done.
So, I mean, only one of those two guys are here, so I think it worked.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to happen, and we just made Commander Bly's dreams come true. Well,
I think Chris is in Amsterdam right now.
He don't care.
Some of fun stuff.
He's having Chris doesn't his care life right now.
Yeah. Chris don't care right now.
If he hears that, he's like, "What a great idea!" That's awesome.
Even if he wasn't in Amsterdam, he'd be saying that.
If he's even conscious right now.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, Ernie, welcome.
What's up, guys? How are you? What's up, Pitt?
Yes. All right. So you know what? We actually have a lot to talk about. Look at that, man. No, Mike backs that, Joe.
See, I come back and here comes all the money.
Yeah,
that's right. We got $4.
Let's keep those super chats rolling in for the Joe over Chris right here.
Oh man. Well,
that's great.
Now I have to talk Star Wars and bring the show down. So,
oh man.
Have you guys? Okay, so I got I kind of like on my pedestal a little bit, and I was getting angry about all of these other sites that I've been seeing on Facebook and YouTube channels about Bothans. Why didn't Andor have Bothans? Why isn't Rogue One? They Disney screws up everything. I've been seeing these things like Disney screwed up all the canon, and I'm just like, all right, look, we have an outlet. I know our pit knows better, and if anybody has any confusion, let's just set the record straight. And so we're going to settle it here and now. So you could take this, and if you see this happening anywhere else, you can say the Sarlacc Digest says stop. Just
share it with your friends.
Share, but then just stop. Okay. First off, I want to say that Mon Mothma, that was her line. Okay. The famous line, many Bothans have died to bring us the information. Her first appearance was Return of the Jedi. So she can't possibly say anything or be any kind of effect on Andor or Rogue One or even A New Hope. She wasn't in there. She wasn't mentioned. Second off, the information that she was carrying from the Bothans was about the second Death Star, and that the Emperor himself is foreseeing the final construction of the Death Star. So now that we've laid it out, now we could take it and spread it like wildfire, set the record straight. It was one of those things
really
like
spoiling Andor season 3. Like,
I mean, yeah, it just gets to the point where it's like it's misinformation, and then it's the blame game about the misinformation. I had to
Well, Commander Bly, plus little known fact, Bothans are assholes anyway.
Yeah,
it is so true.
Beside the fact,
Kayla was awful.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Beside the fact that they're assholes, the information needs to be right. It needs to, the lore has to be kept. You know what I mean? So
they basically got what was coming to them.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah.
So just to put a little bit of a caveat on there, all the information we have on Bothans so far, I believe, has, other than what was said in Return of the Jedi, it's considered legends because they haven't really brought a Bothan into the new canon. So we don't even know if Bothans still look like half dog, half lion, humanoid, furry things, right?
Right.
So still kind of, and that's kind of surprising to me that we haven't seen that. I mean, in all the comics and all that went between Empire and Return of the Jedi, I'm surprised they didn't put that adventure in those comics. And it makes me wonder if they've got another plan for Bothans.
So after Rogue One, I heard, because John Knoll brought a Rogue One project to Disney, right? And they made Rogue One, right? So I heard that there was another project in the same vein as Rogue One, in that where it's like a little blurb in the original trilogy. It was going to be a project, and I'm wondering if that would be something in the future. Where it doesn't have to be a series. It doesn't have to be a one-off. It could be not even a what if or the tales of, right? Yeah, there's
your Bothan for you right there.
Yeah,
Legends Bothan.
Alleged, right?
Lion-O?
Yeah, he looks like an asshole.
They can't. Yeah. They can't change it. It has to be this. Of course they can make their creative differences, but it has to be. It's almost like a Cathar. Lion-O. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. Basil, coming soon to anime Tales of the Bothans. If this keeps up,
had that conversation.
Yeah. So, like Stu John, again, Bothans got the plans for a second Death Star. What kind of numbnuts think they should be in Bothans and Andor? That's my question. And again,
many,
and I'm seeing it all over the place where I had to go. Okay, number one topic, I gotta set the record straight. It's just bugging me,
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I need you for?
Doesn't stop him from trying anyway, though. Trust me.
How Runner is here, which kind of How Runner's here and Bly's out. No. Trading.
Hey, we also got Chet that's okay. Say Chet Maddox is in the house. What's up, Chet?
Yo.
Yes. What's up, man? Yeah. Yeah. How Runner? I don't know. YouTube's doing this thing now. If you make a comment, it gives you like a little score or maybe the number one commenter. Points. So that's like, okay, How Runner's number 3 commenter right now. So.
Do we want that though? Because everyone's equal in the pit.
Right?
We have no choice.
Don't tell that to Commander Bly. He will spam that thing to make sure he stays.
Man, the last off would have been very interesting then, right? If it actually kept track.
Yeah, I know.
See, we spawned another idea.
Numbers all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Forbidden Panel is checking in. We have the entire Shadow Nose Network checking in also. Wow. It's awesome. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we had to set it straight for the Bothans thing. So again, if you see it out there, call it out. it's baffling because now it's starting to become negative. It's like, why did it's like now they're blaming the lore breaking stuff, and that's where I was like, okay, because I can let things slide. It is what it is on out there, but when you have like legit fan sites, legit YouTube channel, podcasts saying the same thing and making whole shows about why Disney's screwing up everything, and it's like, look, we'll call them out when Disney screws them up, but this is a you problem, not them problem right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't think it's working for you there, Bly.
They're all
yeah,
talking about Skeleton Crew. I don't know why Mouth and Mikey and Chunk weren't in there, but they should have been. They're messing up the lore. Yeah.
Neil's Chunk, Mikey is Wim, Data is what's her name? KB, and then Mouth is the other one. I don't remember their names anymore. So I only watched the show once. Fern. There you go. It's the whole Goonies.
It's a good show.
Which it's funny. Just side note.
Yeah.
Fern is going to be the new Slayer in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot.
Nice.
Where Sarah Michelle Gellar returns, and she's
really,
Fern is the new Slayer. So
are they going to hand it off, or is she just the new Buffy?
She's Buffy's going to be training her apparently. So
oh shit. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
really?
Sarah Michelle Gellar is coming back, and they're bringing back a chunk of the cast. So
okay, I didn't know at this point that she was confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Faith?
She's
the
a part of
reason why I want to watch.
I know, right?
Yes,
I know, right?
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start a petition to bring Faith back too.
There you go, Eliza Dushku.
All right, guys, you can start your own Buffy stuff later after Talk Beyond or whatever it is.
Bro, it's Buffy. It's
Slayer
okay
Station.
It's okay when Moocher watches something, but if Moocher doesn't know, then forget it.
I tuned into Slayer talk. I didn't know it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I thought it was Slayer. I thought it was like
Moocher had on his shirt and everything.
Yeah, I was like,
ready.
Oh hell yeah, let's go! And then yeah.
Oh man.
But where is that going to be on? What's that? Never mind. Okay.
Hulu.
Okay.
It's a Hulu thing.
Yeah. Right, let me write that down.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Hal Runner, my first and last super chat. I gotta go get that number one. Hal Runner, you're awesome, then. Thank you so
much.
much.
It pays to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Commander Bly. Chet comes in. We had him on the toy chest, and I had to bully him. It's like
wow.
Gotta do
it's
it.
Just rude.
Because I love you. That's right.
Enough of this shit.
Enough of this shit. Get back to Star Wars.
I'm here for a reason. Sorry.
All right. So again, Bothans squash now. Can we consider that like I said, if you see it, send them our way and tell them, just stop being wrong.
Okay. Now we know that that's a Death Star 2, and we had this whole thing with Andor.
We do.
So of course,
yeah.
Are you guys going to be okay when they release the series on how we got the plans from the Bothans and or do you feel like we've had Andor don't do that? Like we didn't need Andor and Rogue One, and we gave it to him. We fell in love, right?
Right.
But I feel like knowing this statement, like, do we need to?
I feel like expectations would be so astronomically high that there's no way it could live up to it because it's
not as Tony Gilroy takes out control.
Right. But then it's like been there, done that. Right.
Yeah.
I honestly think that I honestly feel like that should be relegated to comics or books. I don't think that needs to be a TV show.
I think
or an animated series.
Point. Yeah, it'd be redundant because again, it's the whole. But again, it wasn't the stealing of the plans of the second Death Star. It was just that they were building it, and the Emperor himself was on that planet. That's why they made that attack on Endor. It's like because they can kill the Death Star, Emperor, everything in one kind of stuff. It's almost like what the Empire did. So. The pay to win continues to be a thing in the chat, Mike.
Wow.
Nice.
And Hal Runner wants his refund my super chat because he's not number one. Well, you can still comment.
Man.
Sorry, no refunds. So store credit.
No refund, bro.
Credit.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Ernie. It's like because it's almost the same concept about information and a spy network and all that stuff. So, I think
somebody's at a round table right now saying, I have an idea. It's like, no,
I've always been a thing for less is more in Star Wars, believe it or not. And I've said this many times, right? Like, we don't need Andor, we don't need Rogue, but it's there. And I'm like, that's probably one of my favorite things to visit now. just because how well it is. But like, I had more fun talking about the prequel stuff before seeing the prequels, and then the prequels. But I still love the prequels. It's just that I had more fun in that time frame in my head, talking about it and headcanning it with my friends.
And where it could go. And
I still have that more of a. So if you have every single thing spelled out for us, it's going to get to the point where it's like, well, there's nothing to talk about anymore. It's all here.
And how about doing one animated cartoon, a 20-minute animated cartoon, just showing how they died?
I'm cool with that.
Dude, three episode, 15-minute each, just like the Tales of series. It's perfect.
Or I would even love if we brought it back to the original Clone Wars style.
Yes, shorts, like 5-minute shorts like that.
Like that. Dude. We had the little 3-minute.
I'm down.
Adding up to Joey's 20. I'll take it. Go ahead, give me that. And make it classic. Do not put it on Disney Plus. Put it on Cartoon Network in between.
Let's go.
The commercials.
Cartoon Network is still there. Yeah.
But don't let them talk. Do like they did with the clones in the first one, where it's all just silent and they're being.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be amazing. That could be amazing.
We gotta mirror it. Like we see all those Bothans as the clone troopers, right?
Yeah.
And they don't say nothing but
I love it, dude. Yeah.
Stealing the plans and then
do the hand gestures and
the only good clone is a silent clone.
There it is.
Roger.
We just heard it out.
Yeah, Commander Blight, again, nothing will live up to Andor. I feel bad for the next couple of films that drop. They will be judged harsh. They absolutely will. Unfortunately, I will be one of those two. Gordon Skulski wants the Hildro or Wildro Hood story. I think a Tales of Bespin with
that'd be fun.
That'd be awesome, dude. Because you get Lobot, Ugnaughts,
you get a different segment, and in each segment, he just runs through the frame carrying the container. Where they
got it.
What do they call those damn things?
Cantono.
Cantono. Yeah. Howlrunner is dissecting the new YouTube feature. I see. The more you chat, the more XP points you get. The top 3 will change on the next stream. Nice. Yeah. I mean, again, that's a YouTube thing. We had nothing to do with that. It's new to me too. So, Dr. Brantley, it should be completely different as a series, but there's plenty of story you can do. Make it about Bothans culture, why they're so trustworthy, and why so many died to get the info. They're almost like the Twi'leks, right? Twi'leks are mainly rebels in the rebel cells. Like for the most part, Ryloth is a planet, just like the Mon Calamari, they support the rebels. The Bothans could be that same thing, where you can have, the planet. I don't even know where they come from.
Bathui.
I mean, why not?
Bathonia.
Yeah, but so
it's Bathui. Yeah.
Oh, it is for reals. I thought you were making that up.
No, that's it.
Sounds like someone's spitting something out.
Bathui. Yeah.
Where are you from? Bathui.
Yeah, but it could be but like a 20-minute version of it, like 5-minute segments. I love that. I think bring that back. Do you think anything will ever be not on Disney Plus from now on? I mean, it's Disney Plus, right? I mean, why would they? But at the same time, could you see them doing a Cartoon Network thing again, or an exclusive Amazon Prime show?
So much like you could. It doesn't have to be necessarily Disney Plus. It was on Fox.
It could be
8 p.m. Fox or something before The Simpsons, some type of crap like that. Like
the Disney Channel is still a thing too, isn't it? So it's like just
there's
Disney
4
Channel,
different Disney channels.
Yeah. So I mean,
I can't see it being on anything else but Disney.
I agree.
Business wise, it doesn't unless a network pays for that, right? Like they're gonna pay. But you're 100. Disney Plus struggles anyway for the continuous content of refreshing and new. So it was just a question I had. Like, do you think we would ever see that again? Kind of like a different network.
Out.
So
I don't think so unless it goes to a Hulu or an ABC or something that Disney owns, right? Then you could maybe see.
Well, that's Stu John said, right? Yeah, Disney owns ABC.
It's so weird to see regular TV now.
I don't
know about
is,
you
man.
guys, but like when we went away for our anniversary, there was a day that Corinne had to get ready for her show, so we were in the room all day. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just watch some TV, go check stuff out, right? And I was like, commercial.
It's boring. Commercial.
Right. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Remember when you used to be excited, like, my hotel has HBO.
Right.
Check this out.
Or remember TiVo's thing, you can fast forward, you can like pre-tape and then fast forward.
Because like those channels, they don't show any good movies anymore. Well, it doesn't seem like it now. You know what I'm saying? But like back in the day when you did and you had a hotel room, it was like, oh man, this movie's on HBO. Let's watch it tonight. And now I was just like, this sucks. Whereas I should have brought my Fire Stick.
This sucks. However, no, everyone is not everybody here is married. So
So speaking of,
look at I'm smiling and these guys aren't. So which ones are married and which is not? So,
hey, we just had our 28th wedding anniversary. So
congratulations.
And Bootleg, you're right there too, aren't you?
Yeah. We're going on 20. Oh man, I hope she's not watching. 20 something.
No, but it's even worse because your daughters are, and so they're going to tell her
this year. Yeah, my oldest is getting married this year. That shows you how old I am.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy man. Stop and smell the roses every once in a while.
So Moocher is taking applications, ladies. So just let him know.
Yeah.
You have to like death metal.
You do. Star Wars, death
3D
metal,
printing. 3D printing.
I was just going to say that. You have to come with your own printers.
Yeah.
You can look at his, the date's over.
You can't touch mine.
Yeah.
3D printers.
Forget it. Yeah.
Let's clarify here.
Yeah.
3D printer.
Can't touch a 3D printer.
Or toys.
SD17
for your collection. Yeah.
Dude, if they walk in and they tell you what you're missing off of SD17, that's when you're in love. That's
why doesn't his eye glow?
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, that's cute, Moocher. But you know, he is missing it.
The day that happens, you'll never see him on the show again. What happened? Got a girlfriend. He went out and touched grass. Oh no.
Okay, before I get in trouble, we're going on 29 years.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Yay.
Good job.
Nice little,
good job. Good job.
Nice, dude. Congrats. Okay. So to bring it right back to Star Wars. A show of Bothans. I don't know if I would at this point, maybe I'm more into like trying to get away from really get away from the Skywalker saga at this point. I know, like I said, Andor was amazing, and Mando is a departure. Ahsoka and Mando are kind of a departure. It does puts us in a different space, but to kind of like fill in the blanks in between the trilogies again, I don't know. If it's done right, then of course I'm gonna be like, that was amazing. So
yeah.
Stu John, I see here. I get distracted again. He prefers sludge or doom metal. Awesome. I was gonna name a couple bands, but I'm trying to bring it back.
I'm in the minority. I'm not ready to walk away from the Skywalker saga.
I never will be, because we always watch it. It's always a thing, right? I mean, we have our May 4th event. It's just it's never that, but I'm getting to that point where, like I said, the less is more, and the more you flesh it out, the answers become, or the questions become less.
I mean, I'm all for a refreshing new story, but God, man, I want something good, something that's gonna really like make it hard for me to walk away. But there's nothing out there really that's making me want to just like, I guess I'm good with the Star Wars saga now. No, it's like I don't want to let go of it.
If they ever did an Old Republic, I guarantee you would be, because again, Joey, it's the world of the Sith, and the world. I mean, it is like, and that's where I at some point I'm like kind of glad they haven't done anything yet, because then again, it's still like there's source material, they can do it right, they're taking their time, quality kind of stuff. You're right. So I'm hoping that's still in a plan, and some good people are attached to an Old Republic show or movie or whatever it's going to be. And I think that is a complete generational a new generation of Star Wars content, fans, media. It would be starting Star Wars all over again. It really would.
Yeah.
See, and I'm excited for that, for Starfighter. I'm excited for.
Dr. Brantley, let's see how Starfighter does. If it tanks, we will get nothing but Skywalker timeline.
Yeah, if it tanks, because so we talked a little about Starfighter last week, a little bit, where it's a year after Rise of Skywalker. Ryan Gosling is in it, and they said that it's going to be brand new planets, brand new characters, brand new everything, right? Immediately, people's headspace goes into New Republic, X-Wing, like a Rogue Squadron, right? If Rogue Squadron is still on the table, why would they do a Starfighter, right? And and I'm thinking Starfighter as being scum and villainy, like, something different, something else, not militant, not Empire versus Rebel, all that stuff. I think it's totally something different. It's almost like a skeleton crew in space. Not in space, in the battle mode, the scum and villainy stuff. That's where I'm throwing my 2 cents in there. Now, I don't know anything about it, but that's where I would hope they would go into it, because again, if you have Rogue Squadron, you have Starfighter might be the test for the Rey trilogy. Who knows, dude? I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of over anything sequel stuff anyway. I don't
took that excitement and just threw it out the window.
Yeah. What's that?
You said the R word.
Starfighter. Once you said Rey's name, I'm out.
Rey. Yeah, like I said, anything sequel, I don't really care to explore anymore. Done. It's like cool. You know what I mean? I don't think they could do anything cool with it anymore. But who knows? I'm rarely wrong, but when I am,
it's spectacular.
It's spectacularly wrong.
Spectacularly wrong.
I mean, why not go all in? Yeah. So, speaking of trying to revitalize something, right? Like, maybe an old point stuff. So, Scott, just bear with us here.
Sure. Yeah.
Have you guys heard about this whole Battlefront 2 resurgence? Like, what's going on? Dude, it's breaking records from initial. So, Battlefront 2 is if you haven't played it, this might be sacrilegious because I think Battlefront 2 supersedes anything, or Battlefront from the old back in the day, but it's the Call of Duty of Star Wars, right? It's the multiplayer stuff. They've got mega battles, space battles, everything, and it's just an amazing thing. We got story on it, Iden Versio story that goes in on it. When it first came out, EA Sports, and I always complained about EA because EA had the monopoly soul, like we can only do Star Wars games. Well, they had it in 10 years. They made two games. Yes, they are responsible for the Jedi Order stuff, and that's fantastic. They put out Battlefront, sorry, because there's Battlefield and there's Battlefront. They put out that, and then the first one, they got sued because of gambling in games, right? The EA got sued by the governments, by the Hawaiian government, says you put gambling into games, and it was a big thing. Microtransactions ruined it. EA was just money. Yeah, Meeks, dude, this is talkers right up your alley, man. So they made the Battlefront 2 version of it, is that it people played it, but then there was a lot of things missing in the game, and people lost patience and all these things. All the fixes that came later, nobody was playing anymore, or it dropped like way off the map. But they put all these fixes and bug fixes and content and maps and all the things. But the game kind of slowly just went to the wayside. It wasn't supported anymore and just kind of went away. But now people have basically had a rallying cry for a Battlefront 3. Right? We want a Battlefront 3. We want to continue the story. We want a whole thing. So what they did is they reinstalled Battlefront 2, or they restarted playing, and the community just exploded. Like, it was like everybody was like, hell yeah. And now they're discovering that Battlefront 2 is actually pretty good. Right? So yeah, now they're like, wait a second.
If you're good at it.
Yeah, well, you gotta practice, man. You gotta level up, dude. Dude.
I was one of the ones that stepped away from it for a while, and then I re-downloaded it again a couple nights ago. After an hour of waiting for updates and stuff, I finally jumped back in. 3 seconds, I'm dead.
Yeah, boom.
So I'm like, what? Forget this. I'm just gonna go and do the campaign without Versio. That was fun.
Yeah,
I forgot how fun that was. But because I wanted to see what the hype was like. What was the big old thing with everyone going back into Battlefront?
And if you get to on the multiplayer aspect, if you get to start playing, you get good. It's a very fun, fast-paced thing, and they got some cool game modes and everything. And yeah, Meeks is saying, like, because of Andor, people are all about Battlefront 2. There was a couple Andor actors that kind of helmed this push, right? And I love it because I'm still a gamer. I still play Star Wars games, play the Old Republic still, or the SWTOR. I'm seeing a resurgence in that too. So people are starting to take Star Wars as a whole because it's in a good place right now because of Andor, right? That means that the games are going to be a little bit bumped. That means the content's going to be bumped and stuff, and until they They hopefully they don't dive it, like Lucasfilm tends to, or Disney tends to go ups and downs with Star Wars, right? They did, this is great, and then boom, this is great, and then boom, but rarely has everything hit at the same time, like toys, movies, games. If everything's on an upswing, like a peak, I think we're in for a very cool couple years of Star Wars. I really do, on all levels, right? Especially the gaming, which I'm excited because, again, it's been a drought. EA lost the exclusivity of it, and so now every studio can petition and make a Star Wars game. So that's what we're going to see. And it's in EA's best interest to look at what's going on and be like, all right, maybe we should push this and make a Battlefront 3, make something spectacular, but also take into account for why it died in the first place. Like,
don't make it a money grab.
Take note.
Yeah.
Right.
Why did it die in the first place? Then don't repeat that, because again, you will 100% kill it forever. Like, nobody will touch it.
So then the big question is, it used to be a game company would manufacture a game. They would make a game, they'd sell the game, you'd play the game. Yeah. Life is good. Everybody gets their cake, and they get to eat it too. Right. But so now that it seems like it's all about making money hand over fist nonstop, how do they, do you think we will see a return to the just sell the fucking game and let's go? Or do you think we're going to see some sort of like a subscription service? If you want the newest level, you got to pay. What do you guys think DLC would be exactly, downloadable content? What do you think is going to be?
They tried it with Squadrons with like, here's the title, and they walked away from it. And Squadrons died because of the notion of there's going to be no DLC. There's going to be no updates moving forward. So then they said, well, damn, that was the test waters of putting out a title at this day and age, and be like
letting it go.
Yeah. Me personally, and I'll let you guys get your 2 cents in. Me personally, I like DLC. I like paying $60, $70 for the base game, and then even 6 months increments, pay another $30, $40 for story, content, whatever it is, because it keeps it fresh, it keeps it going. It'll keep you playing that game for years rather than a couple months. So
yeah. There used to be, back in the iTunes days, right before Apple Music or anything like that, you could buy an album whenever it came out, and you would just have that album.
Right.
Or you could buy the deluxe edition of that album, and then every time something new, you paid a premium for it. And every couple of months, the band would add a little bit more to it and add a little bit more to it. And so there was like, maybe
you're paying like $50 for the album versus 20.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But it wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was like $10 versus $15, right?
Yeah.
But then you would get, I don't know, it kept it kind of alive, right? Because there's always a 2-3 year stretch between albums. So that, you got B-sides, you got live versions or something like that. What's up, Ted 3 Trooper?
Nice.
So do you think something like that would be doable? Do you think somebody would pay the extra? Keep in mind, guys, I am not a gamer. I do not game. I do not buy I haven't turned on my bootleg. When was the last time you and I played Squadrons together? That was the last time that I actually turned on my PS4.
What, the 5th grade?
Something like that. Yeah. Way back in 1981. Yeah. So
Squadrons sucked because died because
But
it worked with Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat,
did they have something like that?
Yeah, you got your extra characters. Then you got, they did a whole brand new like an extension to the storyline. So you basically you were basically paying for like 2 different games, but you weren't paying $60 for the extended part. You were paying like $40.
Yeah, it was a lighter version. Yeah,
new skins. So. But it kept you onto the game instead of like being burned out on the game already within 6 months. They just kept, but it wasn't like you're paying for everything. You just paid your $40, $10 for your pack, for your character pack, whatever. So it worked for Mortal Kombat. I don't know why they wouldn't do that with
they do it for a lot of games, and I like that model. I mean, I see how Runner and I, like I said, with this this number thing, I'm way ahead of you, man. Way ahead of you.
Yeah, and he's just saying that because he's number 1 right now.
Yeah,
I know how you work. I know how you work, Hal Runner.
Yeah. Ernie, what do you think, man? Gaming. Do you game? Like, are you?
Yeah, this weekend I was just playing Empire Strikes Back on my Atari 7800, and they've really come a long way from that. So,
I mean, it was so old they don't even have bits anymore. Like 8-bit, 6-bit. It was just like negative bits.
Yeah, I don't even think they call it bits. Yeah,
exactly.
No, I grew up in the fighting game era, and so that's all I mainly stick to. And it's like Joe said, I do have the latest Mortal Kombat and everything like that.
Thank you, Hal Runner.
But it's also, I used to game so hard back in the day that I kind of, it is a good concept, like Joe saying, but I'm still so against it because
okay, yeah,
Joey's right. I ended up paying $80 for my game to make sure I got that first round of downloadable characters.
Right.
And then I had to do another $30 just to get that second round. And then it was a $50 for that second story.
Yeah.
And now we've ended it. Like Mortal Kombat's done.
Yeah.
And I was
it's done.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? That's it? So I'm sure there's going to be.
You say it's done. Does that mean you guys can't play it anymore?
No, we can, but
no. The story wise,
it's done as far as like fresh stuff. It's
correct. So what they're saying, Scott, as far as these downloadable content, it does usually go on for a lot longer. Street Fighter right now that it's in 6 has been doing it for quite a while.
Okay.
Of the downloadable and new characters and like that, and they're hitting it like that.
Yeah.
Mine is I really liked you had to go through the story, like Joey's saying, he revisited the Battlefront story.
Right.
And through there, I would earn points or characters because I was going through the story and I didn't have
progression system
pay for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? I was just because that's what I was brought up on. I wasn't in these Call of Duties to get, your drop boxes or, hey, give me $3 for a skin. And you're right. They've now monopolized it where they know, you're going to pay $30 to tell your mom and dad to go get you a card at the store and add on your points to buy more stuff now, right?
Yeah. And then pay for multiplayer.
Correct.
Just for that added, just to play other people, you have to pay $15 a month. Yeah.
So it's hard for me because of that reason. I don't play with other people. I've had it before, but that was another expense of like you're saying. Yeah. Either you pay your $100 for the year, or you make your monthly payments, or you go buy that card. And that was hard for me. And then it was like Joey's saying, I got my ass kicked right away, on these shoot 'em up games or the, hey, let's go do this. I was having more fun at home of the kids teaching me zombies from Call of Duties and to play it like that than play online with somebody who's going to yell at me because I don't know what the hell
you
I'm
will
doing.
Get 100%.
Right. You get it. And that's what I'm going to have is that 5-year-old.
You're getting bullied by a 5-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. For real.
You get messages.
Come on.
I'm like,
fat ass run.
Yeah.
How did he know?
How does he know I'm fat? How does he know? Yeah.
How did he? Is it in my voice? Like what happened here? But exactly that. And then I have to cry and
Well, I mean, like everything's
you're gonna have a Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back moment where you're just driving to kids' houses and
everybody's name,
and kicking their asses at their doors.
And I'm bringing Joey with me. Joey's knocking, and Joey's gonna be the one to say, "Are you Gamer Pro 430?" Yes.
Yeah. I just like everything else in this world, right? Everything changes. Retail, everything changes. The way the gaming
I'm not used to it.
Yeah. Well. I just don't think it's ever going to go back to that title by, I think it's $80 now. You're going to buy a title and you're just going to.
You know what I wish it was? Is this Battlefront 2? Yes, it had the resurgence, right?
Yeah.
It's popular once again because of this little push. I wish it was something like on the PlayStation Store of, hey, look at this game that's 5 years old that just got popular. Why don't you try it out this holiday weekend?
Yeah.
Right now and go ahead and jump in with your friends. Man, that would make me more like, oh
what
my
I
God,
don't understand
this Battlefront 3.
What I don't understand is how has Fortnite lasted so long and still so powerful, still so popular?
Because the 9 and 10-year-olds, dude, like this, that's all they do.
Like,
I can't play that game.
Is it because it's free and like most of the stuff on there is free? Or
well, it's microtransactions run those games, right?
That's game, so I don't know, but
I mean,
it's lasted so long.
Well,
you have to pay for those extras, and there's some extra stuff. That's what Riley was telling me, and it gets really expensive to buy so-called card is what I'm saying. You know, like you need to
reskins
pay for that extra. Of course. You know, and so with me growing up with that, I always knew that I could wait my year. So like Mortal Kombat's over, like we're saying, right? This new version
this round
of Mortal Kombat's over. I ended up paying, let's just say, close to 200 throughout
total
this run of it. Right.
Hell.
And probably come July, it's going to be at Walmart, Mortal Kombat
Ultimate Edition with all the DLC. Yeah.
$49.99.
Yeah. It's the FOMO, dude. But you're not playing it now when everybody else, you know what I mean?
The one that was the most expensive for me that I now went against that was Killer Instinct for Xbox.
Yeah.
It was only on Killer Instinct. It came back. It was a great game. And I didn't realize that I kept having to buy these characters, Scott, of, oh my God, look at this. I can't win her, but it is $4 to get her in a holiday skin.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I added it up, my Killer Instinct, I ended up spending, I believe it was like $330 on that game.
Yeah.
That I didn't know about. Like, honestly. Yeah. No, it's for reals.
Yeah.
And let's just say a couple years ago was the anniversary and everything that I bought came out for $19.99.
I'm right here. I'm right here with Rhino Hobbies. It's hard for my old ass to buy ones and zeros and not have something tangible.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Well,
that's why I still buy physical media for music and movies.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like I said, gaming is not, it's not something that you just do by yourself anymore, right? It's like Ernie said, it's almost like a time and money investment for the next 4 years in between Mortal Kombat or even Battlefronts, right? In between
the Star Wars stuff. And you're gonna have little Star Wars stuff that is made for us.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
We've all probably sat here and played the Star Wars games. That's how little it is. Even with Scott not being a gamer, you know, from the Nintendo 64 to Super Nintendos, the movie ones, that's all we've had. We've had so little of Star Wars genre games. And for me, you know, the Battle of, what is it, Takasai? That was my game.
Mine too. I love that.
That was my PlayStation.
Force Unleashed, man. Force Unleashed blew my mind, dude.
See, and
that's still one of my favorites.
That's an awesome game.
And there's only 2 versions of that. So it is really
Force
sad.
1 too. Mm-hmm.
Right. It is really sad of the low content.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you blame EA for that, right? Because again, they didn't utilize I mean, we had such a drought and they made like I said, games take 5-10 years to make anyway.
So question. They had the exclusive rights for it for 10 years, right? That's what you're saying. 10 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were there plans for other games that just were never made, or did they just sit on their hands? I mean, it's like if you look at things like Eclipse, right? Eclipse looks insane. The cutscenes look amazing. It looks like magic on the screen. It looks like a movie, right?
Right.
But 5 years later, we're still no closer to this game being released.
Right.
Is it just the time it takes to make these things, or are
it's the
sitting
time.
on their head? Do they need approval for Disney before they release something? I mean, is it Disney that's holding them back? Is it EA that's holding them back?
I can only speak from what I know from EA having the titles and stuff. You know, EA's business model was transactions, meaning you bought the base game for $60, but skins, unlocks, almost a pay-to-win system in some places where you buy these locks to give you a better gun, all the things. You know, that's how they made their money, and they spent a lot of time and effort tweaking that, putting it in the game, it's almost like resources into that versus a story, and so they're constant revamping that system, where instead of just eliminating it altogether and just putting out a game with DLC, that's where the delays have, because they can't figure out a monetization pattern to keep their. It's not even just to keep the lights on; it's to keep their pockets lined. And that's where I think, because they didn't just do that with the Star Wars titles, it was EA's MO. They did it with Madden. They did it with a lot of stuff that they had, and other companies had the same thing. And now, because of the gaming engines, the console games that are just so much more powerful, it's you can't just make a side scroller game anymore. You have to. These are powerful games that you have to immerse yourself into, like the world of the side scroller. And those are independent routes now. People make these old school games, and they're very popular. Now it's all about like how big this thing could be. And so it gets into development hell. And then and I think a lot of times too, especially in Star Wars, it's like Star Wars doesn't do good. Everything, the pendulum swings back. Like, let's retract on everything, toys, games, and everything, right? So like Last Jedi comes out and the whole Star Wars world came to an halt because they got fearful. They didn't produce toys. They didn't produce games. It was like, whoa, because of one thing at that time, right?
Yeah.
And everybody gets scared. And I think it's just the wrong companies doing it. And then having a monopoly that you're known for not putting out nothing, but now it's got to catch up. Say they don't have the exclusivity license. Now these other companies, now it's got to catch up. You're going to see games being announced and pulled back also. Still, it's always been a thing. So I don't get excited until I see a beta test or I see like an actual release date. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, Scott, that's the business model anymore. It has to go completely mega big or they go home. You know what I mean? There's no more in between. Yeah.
So I wonder if that's why because isn't it Fortnite that is now utilizing, they've got downloadable Star Wars skins and all that.
Yes.
Is it Fortnite?
Fortnite, yeah.
So that would make sense. Why not glom onto something that's already successful and without having to put out a whole shit ton of development money anyway, right?
Sure. I mean, that's the
thing with Fortnite. Not only can you do Star Wars stuff, you got wrestlers.
It's the Funko world of video games.
Yeah, anything you can download onto there.
It's funny because Disney always announces that we're going to have these open world type games.
Right.
They showed us that before with Disney characters. And then there was supposed to be a whole Star Wars area as well as that too. I mean, the closest that we've ever come to anything like this open world for Disney stuff is Kingdom Hearts. And Kingdom Hearts is a great game of everything that they go through, like the Tron and the everything like that. They're finally going to be making the next one, and it's supposed to have a Star Wars world in it. So that's the thing. But I don't get, like you're saying, right? Why don't we have more at this time? And I guess it probably is because we don't know, right? I guess it is the development of these open world type source games. No,
it's development hell, dude. That's why I said, Hell Runner, and we get keeping the spirited combo number one life. Stu John, don't worry about it, dude. Hit you guys up in the chat, dude. Let it go, let it fly. We're all here.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun with it, man. Don't worry about clogging the chat. Don't worry about that.
It's just interesting because from an outsider's perspective, video games have never really been my thing. I mean, my favorite video game of all time is the old school Tron stand-up video game machine. That's how old school I am. That's my favorite game, right?
That's a great game. Yeah.
It is a great game, but beyond, I look at them now and I'm like, that's really pretty, but that is way too much for me. I have a very addictive, if by watching our over 1,000, toy reviews, I have an addictive personality. So I can't afford to do video games on top of comics and movies and music.
There's my mouse.
Yeah.
Okay. 12 button, 13, 14, 15 stick with the wheel. I've got the micro.
I won't touch PC gaming. I won't.
Look at Razer.
Right.
Razer, everything's Razer. I became the I play MMOs because it doesn't end. I like being in this kind of like space for years. Yeah, dude, like the PC is the master console. So
right.
I mean, but
I play crossword puzzle games on my phone.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like, and the one thing that I said for years has been missing is, yeah, exactly, dude. Like the MMO mouse, man.
And I'm all Mickey Mouse. What?
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse Oswald. What is
Orchestra,
that?
Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
Orchestra.
massively multiplayer online.
See, and my daughter, my younger daughter,
Right.
she jumped into that pool of PC gaming. My oldest daughter, she's already been in it. Her and her fiance have been in it, and they keep telling me, "Come on, Dad, just buy a PC." And I'm like, "Nope,
dude."
Right,
look, man. You have to, like I said, it's ruined a lot of my life, but it's also kind of like, because you're not there's no gaming. There's no production unless you're on Twitch and you have a channel, right? And you're making a living doing it. But I mean, if I did my slash played on certain characters, especially with World of Warcraft, you guys be like, you actually imagine like sitting in a chair for over a year, like 24 hours straight for over a year on one character. I mean, that's just one game, one character, right? So I learned about moderation a little bit later. You know what I mean? So but I still clamor for like a Battlefront 3. I still clamor for like more Star Wars stuff. I'm still play SWTOR as to this day. There was a new patch release, so after this I'm gonna be playing. But I know about moderation. So
do you have those buttons mapped for STOR?
Absolutely. It's so funny about muscle memory, right? And like I said, I have the Kraken headphones. I've got the saga keyboard, which has the macros. You can and I have my SWTOR profile on my Razer thing, so I can click over to SWTOR and the colors. I have the color matches, dude. Yeah, it's fun.
But it sucks.
I did mention I was single, right? That's part of it. So
when I go on TikTok and I see these videos of people playing Jedi Survivor or something, and they're using Nightfall Anakin, or they're using Vader, or they're using Darth Maul, and I'm like, how the heck is this happening? And and I'll call my daughter's fiance Randy. How are they doing this, dude? He's all PC. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing
mods.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, mods, dude. That's what killed Call of Duty. Like I used to play in the tournaments, and then like because the cross platforms I don't like. That's but I mean, here's the thing though. But now I'm excited to actually pop in the Battlefront 2 disc and get in the mix. Be part of a movement. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I really don't. I mean, we're also asking
might
EA.
As well jump in now if people are enjoying it right now.
But people are enjoying it, dude. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's actually a really good. It became a good game. It's actually fun. But here's the thing too. We're also asking EA to produce another Battlefront game. Like, as much as we hate them and as much as they've ruined a lot of stuff, we're asking them.
They still hold the contract?
Battlefield or Battlefront. Like, they're the ones to do Battlefront 3 if it was going to happen. Like, they have that contract or license
for the Battlefront game. So somebody could come out with a kind of same concept, but call it something else.
Sure. Yeah. As long as Lucasfilm Games came back, and they can license that. It's a free market right now. Like they're giving you want a game.
That's what I was saying. That's what I had thought. So I didn't know.
Yeah, but like I said, people are finding out that it's, oh my God, this is actually a good game. It became a good game. Took years, So exactly. That's the thing too. That Star Wars license is going to cost them a fortune. But I mean,
they'll make a fortune at the same time.
You see the money's there if it's done right. I mean,
like what's going on right now. Yeah.
Okay. So the Eclipse game is still in development. There was an update a few months ago saying, "Hey, don't worry. I know we switched writers and whatever it is, but it's still doing it." There's that open world from, I want to say, Respawn. The company Respawn is doing this massive open world Star Wars game. That's still in development. There's games development, but like Scott said, I mean, like, we're gonna be like 60 years old before we see these things.
I mean, Eclipse though has a really bad thing going for it, and that's it's set during the High Republic.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the story that comes to mind right now from this weekend is, we have the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out, right? And everybody's excited about that open world Mario, and they had said they had planned for that for Switch 1. But they barely just got done right now for Switch 2.
It's crazy now, dude.
It takes that long for all this open world stuff, so that's what it is.
It's crazy because as things get more the machines, the consoles get faster, They got to be cooled. I mean, there's technology is great, but it also expands every level of it, like expands development, expands game. I mean, so again, it's no more just coding and putting a side scroller up anymore. It's and then letting that sit, right? And then on to the next game. Now it's about, okay, here's this game. We employ 200 people to make this game. The day it launches, we let go 75% of them because we don't need them. And so that skeleton crew that's on that game right now is going to maintain until they rehire for DLC. Right. I mean, so the business model, again, there's not like 10 people at Atari anymore. It's more like these gaming companies have thousands of people working for them. And so therefore the games have to be big. They have to, take in money monthly. So the model of a DLC or a subscription is very popular, and they push it more than the players,
Rhino Hobbies has got 100 Imperial credits and 10 calamari flan on that license. Who else is buying in with him?
I will throw in.
I have
a couple Micro Galaxy Squadron.
I've got a challenge coin here. Just
there you go.
I'll toss that in. There we
go. Well, anyway, I mean that's the game. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say we did have that other little bit of information that came out.
Yeah, I was going to transition to that because, again, well, more on the gaming stuff as it comes. But again, if you're into it now, get into that Battlefront 2, start playing, join, just have fun with it.
What is
even
that
if it doesn't
available
last.
For you guys?
PS, PlayStation, Xbox, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, computer too, or
yeah, I think so on Steam.
Wow.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's cross
PS4, and it was the first time I turned my PS4 on in like 3 years probably. It took like about an hour and a half or so to just update my console and the game. So
we use it as a DVD player
sometimes. It's so funny. I forget I have that multiplayer. I have the pass, the PlayStation Plus. I pay for it and I never use it. I forget that I have it until I get charged. Then I get charged. I'm like, damn it, I didn't cancel it.
And it's been 3 years of that.
We need to share that, Mooch, then, and we'll just all play on your account as little as we all play.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we probably could.
Up your scores, yeah.
It's funny because back when we were playing that one or two times that we played Squadrons, I'm like, okay, well, in order to play properly with you guys, I've got to buy the PS PlayStation Network membership thing. So I got a gift card for it, and it's still sitting on top of my PS4. I never put it in there. It was $50. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
We only did that like one time, huh?
Yeah.
I think we only played like one time, and then that was it.
Yeah. Hell Runner, I do believe, yes, it will play on the PS5. So it is backwards compatible. So, or Steam or whatever. All right. Yeah. So again, that's the gaming. I'm glad that we got to talk gaming a little bit because that's something that I like to do sometimes when I never get a chance to, because really never in the forefront sometimes, but this is kind of exciting. I will tell you this, but what's not exciting for me is the actor Ryan Reynolds. I like Ryan Reynolds, but there's also I can only take Ryan Reynolds in dosage. So every time an actor that I feel that tries to steer into the Star Wars lane, I start to get a little bit defensive, right? And so, Scott, what did Ryan Reynolds bring up this week?
Well, number one, I also agree with you. He is kind of a one-trick pony. He's like Taika Waititi and directing Thor, right? It's the same jokes over and over again, just in a different costume.
Yeah.
So the story came out today. That's funny. Hal Runner. Ryan Reynolds is lucky he's hot. I love Welcome to Wrexham. I freaking love that show. It's a great show, and he needs to stay there and, in Wales and do that and stay out of Star Wars, because today he said that he had actually pitched a rated R Star Wars movie to Disney. Now, I know we've been talking a few times about the rated R Star Wars, and is it necessary? Is it needed? What would it mean?
Right.
And I'm going to read this direct quote from Ryan Reynolds about what it is, and then I will say my 2 cents right after that.
Yeah.
I pitched to Disney. I said, why don't we do an R-rated Star Wars property? It doesn't have to be overt. Just get A+ characters. There's a wide range of characters you could use, and I don't mean R-rated to be vulgar. R-rated as a Trojan horse for emotion. I always wonder why studios don't want to just gamble on something like that. So that's his quote. He wants to do a emotionally based R-rated Star Wars movie, but why would we need that whenever they've got all these PG-13 movies and PG movies and TV shows that capture a lot of emotion? They're not overtly violent, but there's still decapitations. There's just look at the Tales of the Underworld where people are getting shot left and right in animation. Yeah. Look at Andor, where there's a dude being used as a human shield by K2.
Andor is the closest R-rated emotional series that I loved.
You're getting violence. You're getting great storytelling. Why do you need an R? What is the point of making it R-rated? Because cursing isn't really a thing other than the occasional shit. And you got all the violence you need, and I don't need sex in Star Wars. There's other things you can look at for that. I don't just turn on Game of Thrones, right? You don't need
like I said
in Star Wars.
Andor was the thing that we've talked about for so long, and that if you don't think that was the R-rated, not R-rated content that Star Wars ever got, that is it. That lives in a thing now. Like I know, like other people say, as far as the violent nature, like Vader R-rated, like mowing people down, that kind of R-rated stuff now. But when Ryan Reynolds is talking about, like I said, the emotional, the character development, I'm like, didn't you just watch Andor, dude? Like seriously, right? I mean, it's all there.
He's not, and he's also not talking about being in the movie, and he's not even talking about directing the movie. He's actually talking about show running the movie or show running whatever it is and writing whatever it is, not starring and not directing, but the man behind the scenes producing it.
Yeah, exactly. Meeks is saying, please keep him out of the Star Wars realm. That's 100%. Ryan Reynolds should play an alien. Rhino's hobbies. No, Twi'lek fantasies incoming. Yeah. 3D. You used to call him Ted Trooper. TD.
That's what I did.
Yeah, it's Star Wars actors shouldn't be bigger than a character. 100%, 1,000,000%. Rick Jones taking it. No thanks, Ryan. So yeah, I mean, language F-bombs plenty. I mean, I was cringy for me in Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's too cringy.
Even the shit thing. I mean, they've done it 3 times now in the course of Andor, and it's like it kind of takes me out of it because it hadn't been used before that.
Right.
But
that was kind of like some of the back and forth that Chris and I had with Andor, right? I mean, and I agree with all of it. It was like, look, there was too much. It was overly sexualized. The vulgarity of some scenes, the language stuff. It was over the top. But my argument was he was picking and choosing what to be mad about versus the whole thing. But like I said, dude, I think Andor proved to all of us that that's the line right there. That is the line. I think that because I know Joey didn't care for that structure of it. I know Mando Mike didn't care for that, like the content of it. It wasn't Force. It wasn't lightsabers. But the collective, the fandom, 90% of it was like, dude, that is some great Star Wars content, and they agree. That is like I
didn't get a chance to say what I thought of season 2 because I wasn't here.
Yeah, but
season 2 sold me on Andor.
Yeah,
to where, I loved it wasn't like I loved especially the last 6 episodes.
Yeah, last 6 are
to where
so
me
good.
And
Chef's kiss.
Fanboy Mike were like. We sat at my house for about 2.5 hours just sitting there talking about everything that happened on Andor. And I mean, like you guys know me, like I said, my Star Wars is Force and lightsabers and Jedi and Sith.
Well, so have all of ours, yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And like what you guys said right now. Yeah. There's if that's not rated R, then I don't know what is.
Well, I don't want it to go beyond that.
Yeah,
that's that too. You know what I mean? I think
the only other thing I could see being rated R with, like you said, is either Vader or another Sith, like hacking someone in half or hacking heads off. Like we could clearly see a head getting hacked off. Some severe violence like that, or shooting someone's head off, severe violence, just basically severe violence.
Yeah.
But that's also stuff that we got in the Clone Wars. We did get that and animated and lightsabers cauterized. I mean, if we're taking regular blades and hacking people's heads off and blood splatter, then okay. But, I mean, that's if you know what? Honestly, go back to Dawn of the Jedi before lightsabers existed.
Yeah,
it sounds weird coming from me, but when I see blood on Star Wars, I can't even just believe it's coming out of my mouth. When I see blood in Star Wars, it takes me out of it because I'm not used to seeing blood in Star Wars.
Well, I think like if Ryan Reynolds, if his point was like just to come in and go, hey, every genre should be represented into Star Wars, and then I have to take him and I can't physically pick him up, but like, no, thank you. Keep walking that way. Go somewhere else. Like, I don't think every genre should be represented. I think it does it pretty good from what it is. Like, I don't, as much as I joke around of like, what would a 3-camera shoot sitcom look like? I don't want one. I don't want one. Even in Andor, when they had that little talk show, I was like, oh God, no, please. That was like, don't do that. And so I don't, as much as I love horror, me with horror movies and the more obscure horror stuff that I like, I don't want that in Star Wars. Star Wars is different, man. It's just there's a point where now you're starting just to look at different things to do in Star Wars without looking at the story and telling a good story first. I think that's where people make these comments and they don't they're maybe not look at the big picture. Again, if he could sit there and watch Andor and still say what he said with the straight face, then what he's asking for is completely what we're not thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't think that'll work. And I wish that, this is why we have podcasts like this, because we're the audience. We're the ones who pay for that stuff. Right. So it's like, if we're saying, hey, no, pause, it was perfect, absolutely more jizz in Star Wars. Hell yeah. It's great to listen to. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All over. Just all over.
You'll get jizz. Everybody gets jizz. Everybody. Yeah. Sorry. See, there's a line.
Look out below, Joey. Here comes some more jizz. It's coming right at you, buddy.
So you know what I'm saying, though? Like, if they can't see what was already presented to us, and then they say, "Hey, we need," or Star Wars should go into a direction of whatever. They're just looking at it as like, they must have a complete different idea. And like I said, coming from Ryan Reynolds' brain, we know what his rated R stuff looks like.
Yeah.
Even in Deadpool Wolverine, I was just like, I'm over it. In 10 minutes, I was over it. It's cool, it's great, but it's Marvel. I said, I don't have that. I don't put that much, I don't care that much about it. They could do it all they want in Marvel, but it's just like it's cool. Like I know he was not talking about the crudeness, but is I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, it felt, I don't know. Looking at what we got with Andor, the discussions that we've already had in here, and then looking at his description as to what he would consider an R-rated movie to be in Star Wars. That's what I'm saying.
Like, what else?
Like, yeah. Seriously. It's like, I think, is it Mando Mike says he wants, I guess we're going to see Twi'lek boobies. No, Stu John, Twi'lek boobies. I guess that's it.
I mean,
but we had that already. That was in Jedi. Like, if you
I know that you freeze frame at just the right time, and
that's what I'm saying. Like,
no Ula, no Mula.
Yeah, we don't need him here to even that. So you think that, like you're saying, Deadpool Wolverine, well, F-bombs everywhere and blood everywhere.
Yeah,
Joey's right. Like that blood takes us out of it. Like, we don't.
Star Wars is different, man. It's different.
It's just, when they say shit, it is weird. Yeah, it really is weird.
Yeah, because it's too
earthly. Yeah.
Even back in the day, the whole discussion, I'll see you in hell. That was already Why would he say that?
So that means they believe in a hell, and so
there was always discussions of that back in the day, and now we mentioned that it's too close. You should have made up a word. Like we know of Poodoo, or
do you think their opportunity to do like a true rated R type show was with Book of Fett because it was dealing with the crime lord stuff?
Yes,
that was their opportunity.
That was their opportunity to do it.
but they went comedy with it instead.
Correct. Yeah, which was totally wrong.
Yeah.
I
yes,
think here's
Joey,
the perfect time to
been,
show of well, it's like the animated ones that we got of Asajj and Cad Bane. Like that was great to see just that little bit too of underground type running, right? It is out there. So I think now maybe we could, but again, it's the story of the crime that we see. It doesn't have to be anything else. We don't need F-bombs. Like I said, it's Star Wars. If there's a word made up and the context that it's used, we know exactly what it means.
Poo, like
Ferric.
Yeah.
Ichuta.
Poo,
I say that to this day. Like,
same,
that's the same of, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's almost like a cussing in Spanish.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
exactly.
If we had made up words, it's the context of it. We don't need it literally out there for it to switch.
I don't need it just for the sake of needing it either. Like the sake of the content,
you have that special. That's my favorite Force Awakens version.
Now,
one I'll watch over and over again.
Yeah. Now I know that
names around and you can see it.
Yeah. Carabast. There are. I mean, we've been told that they are doing a horror type show. So we'll see where that kind of goes and where Star Wars thinks horror is too. So you know what I mean? And
it's like this. If you put it on my plate, I guess I'll eat it. But I'm not asking for you to put it on my plate.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna consume it, of course. Like
that's the thing about it's hard is we've had these rules set from the beginning of our Star Wars. There is rules that we've set.
There are some unspoken rules and written stuff that we
so it
hold
better
dear.
be this, it better be that. Like saying the zombie stormtroopers, and we've already touched on it as far as you showed them, you explained the Night Sisters and the undead. Right. Okay, that was fine.
That's the horror that we're talking about.
Right, correct.
There was your Star Wars horror. Yeah.
Right there. Giving somebody like that.
I think sometimes Ryan Reynolds says it, but hey, because when he plays a character and he calls himself Marvel Jesus, I think he's taking it literally like Ryan Reynolds saved the MCU. I think somewhere deep down inside he thinks that, and it might be true that the Deadpool character has saved that timeline or saved whatever was going in the ship, but now I think he thinks he was
literal,
literal little, Marvel Jesus. Now he's looking our way, where I never thought Ryan Reynolds had any interest in our world at all. And now he's looking our way saying, you guys should do an R-rated movie. I'm not talking about the F-bombs, talking this. I'm like, but where's the line? I would love for you to tell us the line you think where an R-rated goes, because then
just even remember the Acolyte. The Acolyte he beheaded and tore through.
Acolyte was violent, dude. Yeah.
We knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
He was shanking teenage Jedi. I mean, it was
That was
what's up, Adam?
Made us already. Ooh, like it's weird.
Yeah. 100%, dude. So when these comments come out like that, sometimes it tells me there's a little bit more than just a fleeting comment, and because in the past we've heard these
he's made these Netflix shows of like where they're battling with like where it looked like sabers and they were batons and other things like that. Then just stay on your side of the fence, right?
I agree, man. Like I said, when they get the green light to start talking publicly, it scares me sometimes because I'm like, is something in the works with him?
He probably said as a feeler to see, look, let me see how people are going to react to this, and if people did react, positive, he can go to Disney and say, look, they all want it. They all.
If it was sure,
but it's like Luke says, though. I do feel like he lives up to that persona, so he's seen all this and is like, "Oh,
yeah,
watch what I can do." Right, and he's like, "You don't want it, let me do it." Like I really do.
Just like Taika Waititi, we don't. I think we don't want a Star Wars I don't care what era. Just no, thank you. We're done. Maybe we're ignorant on that. I don't know.
We have one voice of dissent right here. Adam here loves Ryan Reynolds. He's down with him being a part of Star Wars.
Well, look, man, I have
You just joined us, man. Did you read the comment though? Did you read what it is that he wants to do? Yeah.
Yeah. I like him as I do, but again, there's a certain point. Just like I don't want Tom Cruise in Star Wars, right? But I like Tom Cruise, right? I mean, I like his movies and stuff, but I don't want him in Star Wars. It's just that. Because that's all I'm seeing. I'm just gonna see Tom Cruise, just like Ryan. I'm only gonna see Ryan Reynolds. Like I don't care if he's an alien or not. That's all I'm gonna see, and that's gonna take it way out of.
It was a hard announcement with Ryan Gosling. It was
Ryan Gosling's going to be a hard sell too. You know,
it was hard with Skeleton Crew.
I thought Jude Law too, but it worked.
I know. At the beginning, but he made it work. So we have to see how it works.
Yeah, you got different levels. You've got
it's very true.
Tom Cruise, you've got Ryan Reynolds, and then you got Jude Law, right? So I mean, no offense to Jude, I think he's probably the best actor out of the three of them. But as far as name recognition, he's at the bottom of that totem pole right there.
Yeah. Well,
just
we'll see. I mean,
I don't know what commercial was it Ryan Reynolds was in. It was like Boost Mobile or something like that.
Yeah, his Boost Mobile, his Mint Mobile.
But when he's doing it, all I see is Deadpool. Like he has that.
I can't wait to turn him off every single time. I'm like, where's the skip now? Skip now. Skip now.
So it's like
I break my 15-button mouse just to skip it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's all we would see is like a Deadpoolish.
Type of just person. Like a Ben Affleck. If no, thank you.
Yeah,
move along
with his Boston accent.
I don't want Ben Affleck. I don't want Damon. I don't nobody.
Yeah, Hell Runner. He'd climb that totem pole like a tree.
Hot damn.
Spicy.
Well, anyway, I mean, it's worth a conversation because, like Joey said, maybe it is something where you can have a control group or discussion groups like this, and they could take it back and go, okay, check this out. Here's the Sarlacc Digest and the Pits comments on there. They don't really, but besides Adam, there's Adam's the only one that wants Ryan Reynolds in, but the collective here. But here's the thing: they all said they'd go see it, so at least that's $15 a person right off the bat.
One shot. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? They're gonna bet on opening day, and that's it. But who knows, man? How it really works, But it sometimes like. You start hearing things now, and then 5 years down the line, we've got the Ryan Reynolds starred episode 12.
Let me throw two words out to you, and it's Adam that reminded me of it. Green Lantern. Enough said.
Okay.
My favorite superhero was destroyed by that. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
that might actually be the one thing that makes me not go see a star. No, I'd still go see it. Like Joey, I'm here for it. I don't want it.
I didn't ask for it, but just
I mean,
I'll eat it.
I guess if the story's there, then cool. I mean, we have to live by it. We have to kind of like own our words, right? If the story is good, doesn't matter who's in it. If it's then we right, and that's there is no perfect world anymore when it comes to casting or Star Wars.
On my side of the buffet.
The dessert. I'm gonna stick with the dessert and the breadsticks. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here. I think that was cool. We covered a lot of ground today. Good job, guys. We're taking all this back to Lucasfilm and because they listen and see what happens. But I'm curious to see what Sigourney Weaver brings. Like, how am I going to see Sigourney Weaver, or am I going to see the character she's playing? You know what I mean? That's a good test. So everybody in the pit, you guys are amazing. You're awesome. Joey,
as always,
good to see you, man. Of course, if the camera's up and you're in town, like, come on.
Yep.
We could take the missing poster off our intro. And
no, we do that after the second appearance.
I mean, look, dude, then twice is a coincidence. 3 times it's serious. Okay.
The way everything's right now, this could be AI Joey. We don't even know.
I mean, we don't know.
It could be. They got the voice pretty spot on, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
All right, Ernie, your job is up. Take us out of here.
Thank you, Pitt, very much. Everybody part of the replay crew, hit that thumbs up if you are new here. Who the hell are these guys? We're the Sarlacc Digest. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you don't miss when we're on. Like Scott said, we got tons of reviews up there, extra content. We're on Mondays as well, too. Go check out last Monday's episode as well. Great special guests and toy talk. We hit everything here. If it's Star Wars, then you're going to find it here. And speaking of here, we're also out there on all social medias as well, too. So when we're not on YouTube, you can find us anywhere there. Go hit up Facebook for our 24/7 Star Wars talk, and then even the new stuff like the Discord, and that pops off. You can find Mooch over there all the time. We could drop a link in the comments too. No?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Drop a link in the comments.
I know it's down below.
Showing the Discord. Is it for reals? Thank you for tonight's sponsor, Tosche Station Emporium, for all your figure stand needs. Go
every single figure in my collection is Tosche Station Emporium standard.
As mine too. So go check it out, and on YouTube too, and check out great builds and videos like our mascot sitting back there, very well lit this time and not moving.
It'll get better too. The display, it'll get better.
But you'll be able to check that out soon and much, much more. You can find us all at our socials, and then if you are part of the replay crew, keep that money going. Are we going to replace Chris with Joe now? He doesn't know. He's in Amsterdam.
It's possible.
So, yeah. We'll see what's going on.
It looks like the link is broken to our Discord, so the one that's
you can find it there down below, or ask any of the pit. They're a part of it too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. They'll
definitely
I'll fix it in the description.
There.
Yeah. Perfect. Just real fast, speaking of Tosche Station, just letting you guys know now, if anybody's over there or familiar with all the stuff, I know you've gone to toshestation.com and all that stuff. It is going to be rebranded and changed pretty soon, and there will be a big announcement on the channel, on my YouTube, and it's a whole thing. Don't worry, the content, all the product, it's all staying the same. There's, in fact, new content, but it's just the name and branding has changed. Just at this point, I think I don't want to get
preview.
Yeah,
I saw a preview. It looks really good.
Yeah, I just don't want to get in trouble using the Tosche Station as it grows. So I'm trying to stay on top of it. So with that, so just letting you guys know, you're going to see some cool things happening, some very cool things happening, but the content will stay the same. So our affiliates, our links are down below too. Our toy chest dropped on Monday, which we had SKN guys on. They're always amazing. And of course, go check all those out. Hit those links. Subscribe to everything. Notifications on. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Scott. With that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody. Bye-bye.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.